Hello, this is question 11 on your mix exercise 2 from year 12. You have a modeling question with quadratics. So a diver launches herself off a springboard. The height of the diver in meters above the pool 10 seconds after launch can be modeled with this function, which is a quadratic. How high is the springboard above the water? So what we have is a swimming pool, a board here, and we know this person is jumping and doing this. And what we are doing is measuring the height, h, above the water in terms of the time. Yeah, this is it. The springboard, the height of the springboard, as is where the person jumps, is going to be when t is 0. So when the time is 0 at the beginning, the height is 10. Yeah, so this height of the springboard is just making t equal to 0, subbing in the h. So h0 is going to be 10 meters, and that's the height of the springboard. Then B, use the model to find the time at which the diver hits the water. The diver is going to hit the water when h is 0. Yeah, just because they say the height of the diver is in meters above the pool, so we are measuring here in the water. So when h is 0, we will be able to find t. One t will be negative, we cannot use that one, and the t that is positive is when the diver hits the pool. So let's go to solve that quadratic. So 5t minus 10t squared plus 10 equal to 0. I'm going to reorganize and I'm going to change the signs and divide by 5 or divide by minus 5 if you want to see that way. Yeah, so I'm going to have 2t squared minus t and minus 2 equal to 0. So I'm reorganizing, dividing everything by 5 and changing signs. So this one is divided by minus 5 is 2, this one divided by minus 5 is minus 1, this one divided by minus 5 is minus 2. And we cannot easily factorize. What we are going to use is the quadratic formula. So t is going to be minus b plus minus square root the discriminant divided by 2a. So we are going to substitute, and we have minus b, so minus minus 1, because b is minus 1, plus minus square root of b squared, which is 1, minus 4 times 2 times 2, with a minus becomes plus, so plus 4 times 4, 16, divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. Yeah, so we have 1 plus root 17 divided by 4, and we cannot do anything about it, so we are going to find the values of t. 1t is going to be with the plus, and this is 1.28 seconds to 3 significant figures. And the other one, as we expected, is going to be negative. So t minus root 17 is minus 0.78. And we cannot use this one because the time cannot be negative. Yeah. So when t is 1.28 seconds, the diver reaches the pool surface, yeah, the water. Then rearrange h into this form. So we are completing the square with our quadratic and give the values of the constants a, b, and c. So we are completing the square. Let's complete the square. So we have, and here we cannot simplify. We have to work with the equation without simplifying. Yeah, we here can simplify because we are making equal to 0. So we can divide both sides by minus 5. But here I'm just writing the same expression, so I cannot divide. I need to factorize this bit, remember, so minus 10 side t squared minus 5 halves. Sorry, minus 5 halves, no, minus 0.5 t, and dividing by minus 10, and then plus 10. I'm going to complete the square with this bit, so I have t minus half of that is 0.25 squared, and minus 0.25 squared, which is 0.0625, I substitute back here, and I have minus 10 multiplying bracket t minus 0.25 squared minus 0.0625, and then the plus 10 at the end. Expand this bracket here, and I have minus 10 multiplying the t minus 0.25 squared, minus 10 times that, so positive 0.625, and I still have here at plus 10, which means I don't have much space, so I'm going to do in another page. This is going to be equal to minus 10 t minus 0.25 squared plus 10.725, yeah? And the constants, they write with the number at the front, so I'm going to do that to not confuse you. So the number at the front and then minus t with the minus the bracket. If we compare, this is going to be A, this is going to be B, and this is going to be C. And look at the signs. So B is going to be with the minus at the front, so I'm going to write it positive, and I'm going to write positive the C. Yeah, when I write the constants, A is going to be 10.625, B is going to be 10, because it already has a minus at the front, and C is going to be 0.25. Yeah. And then the last bit says, using your answer to part C or otherwise, find the maximum height of the diver and the time at which this maximum height is reached. So once we have the complete the square form, the best way of finding the maximum or minimum, remember, is when this bracket is 0, because this bracket is always going to be positive or 0. So the minimum value that can have is when it's 0. So maximum or minimum is going to happen when t is 0.25, so when this bracket is 0, and when this bracket is 0, h is 10.625, yeah? So that's the maximum height, and the time at which that happened, yeah? So it happens 0.25 seconds after the person jumps, and this is the maximum height, yeah? And that's all with this question. You could differentiate, but if they have asked you in the question to complete the square, use it. Yeah, it's much faster. That's all.